The Art Director's Debrief, Number 4, The Making of a Monster, Rejection and Revenge. Hello, and welcome back to the Emotive Archive. We left the creature in a state of hopeful suspension, a secret student of humanity, learning about love and kindness through the window of a humble cottage. Today, we witness the tragic and violent conclusion of that education. The chapters we will unpack, 5 through 9 of Volume 2, represent the heart of Mary Shelley's argument about nature versus nurture. We will explore how a soul born with a capacity for good can be twisted into a vessel of vengeance by the cruelty and prejudice of the world. This is the story of Hope Dies, and how a monster is not born, but truly and tragically made. The creature's intellectual and emotional development accelerates through two key discoveries. The first is the arrival of Safi, the beautiful Arabian, whose presence prompts the Lacey family to engage in language lessons. As they teach her, the creature learns along with them, moving from simple words to complex ideas. Through their reading of Volney's Ruins of Empires, he is exposed to the grand, bloody sweep of human history, its virtues and, more often, its vices. He learns about social structures, wealth, poverty, and the complex web of human relationships. This intellectual awakening is a double-edged sword. It gives him the tools to understand the world, but it also equips him to understand his own miserable position within it. He is an anomaly, a being without family, without property, without a name. He is, by society's standards, worth nothing. The second, more profound discovery is a lost portmanteau containing 3 books: Goethe's The Sorrows of Young Werther, Plutarch's Lives, and Milton's Paradise Lost. These 3 texts form the core of his philosophical education. From Goethe, he learns about intense emotion, love, and despair. From Plutarch, he learns about public virtue, ambition, and the greatness of ancient legislators. But it is Paradise Lost that resonates most deeply with him. He sees himself in its 2 central figures. Like Adam, he is an innocent, unique creation, a being who should have a direct and loving relationship with his Creator. But unlike Adam, he is abandoned, solitary, and wretched. And so, he identifies even more strongly with Satan. Like Satan, he was once a being of potential, but he has been cast out from the light by his Creator, left to burn with a sense of envy and injustice. This literary framework gives him the language to understand his own tragedy. But the most devastating text he finds is not a work of fiction. It is the journal of his own creator, Victor Frankenstein, which he found in the pocket of the coat he took from the laboratory. This document is the ultimate horror. It details the disgust and revulsion Victor felt during the creation process. For the first time, the creature learns that he was not just abandoned by accident, but was loathed from the very moment of his conception. His own father, his God, saw him as a catastrophe. This knowledge extinguishes any lingering hope that his ugliness was merely an unfortunate accident. He now understands that his existence is a mistake, a source of horror for the very being who gave him life. The psychological damage is absolute. Yet even with this terrible knowledge, he clings to one final desperate hope. He believes that his ugliness is the only barrier between him. He reasons that the old man, Lacey, being blind, will be able to perceive the goodness of his soul without being prejudiced by his appearance. His plan to reveal himself to the old man first is a sound and logical strategy, born of a desperate need for connection. The scene in the cottage is the climax of the entire volume. The initial conversation between the creature and the blind man is filled with a heartbreaking tenderness. The old man is kind, compassionate, and receptive. For a fleeting moment, the creature's dream seems possible. We, the audience, hold our breath. And then, that hope is violently, brutally shattered. The return of Felix, Agatha, and Safie brings the prejudiced gaze of the sighted world crashing down upon this fragile moment. Their reaction is instantaneous and primal: terror. Agatha faints, Safie flees, and Felix, in a fit of rage, violently attacks the pleading creature, beating him with a stick. This is not just a rejection. It is an act of brutal violence against a being who has shown them nothing but secret kindness. It is the ultimate confirmation of the world's lesson. His appearance is an unforgivable crime. His gentle soul means nothing in the face of his monstrous form. This is the moment the creature's heart breaks, the moment his capacity for love is murdered by human cruelty. The aftermath of this rejection is a descent into pure, righteous fury. When he returns to find the de Lacys have abandoned their cottage, his last link to humanity is severed. The love and empathy he felt for them curdles into a burning rage. His act of setting fire to the cottage is deeply symbolic. He is destroying the very image of domestic happiness he once worshipped. He is burning the temple of his lost faith in humanity. From this moment, he declares an everlasting war against the species, and particularly against his creator, who he now holds responsible for his eternal misery. His journey to Geneva is a series of encounters that only harden his heart. In a moment of innate goodness, he saves a young girl from drowning in a river. His reward is to be shot by her male companion, who assumes he was attacking her. This is the final bitter lesson. Even his good deeds will be interpreted as monstrous because of his appearance. There is no hope for him in the world of men. The transformation is now complete. When he arrives in Geneva and encounters the young William Franklin, his initial impulse is not to harm him, but perhaps to educate him, to find a companion who is too young to have learned prejudice. But when the boy screams in terror and reveals himself to be a Frankenstein, the creature's rage explodes. He murders William in a fit of vengeful fury against his creator. The act of planting the locket on the sleeping Justine is a final, calculated act of malice, a conscious decision to spread the injustice he has suffered onto others. His narrative to Victor on the glacier concludes with this history of sorrow and the birth of his hatred. And it ends with a demand, a terrible ultimatum that is also a plea. You must create a female for me. This is not just a demand for a mate. It is a demand for a single being in the world who will not recoil from him. A demand for an end to his absolute, crushing loneliness. It is the final, desperate gamble of a soul that has been systematically destroyed by the very world it tried to love. Thank you for joining me in the Emotive Archive.